Hello and welcome back to chapter 3, lecture 9. We will continue to work on the brick texture or material and make it a very advanced look. So if we take a look on what we're going to do, we're going to blend two textures, the brick, what we already created, and a plaster texture, mixing them together using a color ramp to make this mix possible, and we've already done that with previous textures, and add a bump effect. So I want the plaster to have a bump and the brick to be normal. All right, so here you can find the steps we make. In the end, we want this result with a stroke of plaster in the middle and a bump effect on the plaster, so it's on top of it. All right, so we turn off the sheets and go to Blender. So this is our tree, what we have right now. So what we do is we add a plaster texture, we add a color ramp and a noise texture to mix these two together. Then we will focus on the normal map. So right now we have a full normal map for bricks, but we also want to mix this with a plaster normal. So we need to duplicate the tree from the color ramp and do the fixing, and that's pretty much it for this lecture. So a lot of things, so let's get started. Right now the displacement is active and it slows down the computer for every step we make, so we turn the viewport off. If we hit render, it's there, but for now I don't want it. We can use the material viewport. All right, and we can turn off the displacement for the bubbling effect. Duplicate the brick texture and we open the plaster. I stored this on the brick folder map where we can find it right there. All right, and now we need a color mix, RGB. So it needs a time to calculate it, adding my rough plaster, and it's mixed. And now we need a color ramp and a noise texture to find a nice way to blending them well. So we go to texture, noise texture, adding a color ramp. Right, oh yeah, we need to switch these. The color information goes into the factor of the color ramp, and the color ramp goes into the factor of the mix. So now we have control on the looks. So we put them together, like something like this. The problem we have right now is this pattern looks like a camouflage. It's cool if you create camouflage, but for plaster you want a more of a uniform look. So we need to change these values, and lowering the scale makes it more on the place how plaster looks like. I mean, experiment, we can use 2 or 1.2 if you want. It all has different types. I use 1, and for the detail I use a value of 8, and this makes it more sharp and rough if we go to the bump effect. So for now the mix is how I want to have it, so it's good. We're not finished at all. What the next step will be is adding a bump effect for the plaster, so, and mixing the normal maps. So if I put this out of the base color and go for a render, you can see that the bump is active and the normal map, but only for the bricks. And I also want a normal for the plaster, but only on the spots where the plaster is. So I do not have a brick pattern on the plaster. What is happening right now? Because if I add it, there are normals calculated on top of the plaster, and that's not really realistic. So we need to fix it. All right. So what we will do is start with the bump effect. So we select these two, noise and color ramp, and we are going to, let's take a look, put this out, and I want this one in the heat. Yeah, that's good. That's looking way better, and you can fine tune it. I mean, if you think it's way too extreme, you can lower it, but to make it clear that there is bump, you can also tweak these values, but stay close, because if you put them right, for example there, the bump will just be very bad. I press Ctrl Z to put them back, so this is pretty risky to change. All right, so a value between this. All right, so the bump effect is now active, but the normals are removed because this normal map has no input. So what I will do is I completely remove the normal map, so I need to bring it back. Where is it? That one. Duplicate it, and I want the normal from the plaster, that one. We are going to combine these two with a color mix and duplicate one, putting it on top, at the bottom. Yips. All right. So this information goes into this factor, because we want the same data we use for the bump for the normals. And we put this in the normal, and that will mix it right. Good, 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 good. So to see if we've done it right, we put this out of the color, and you can see that the normal, it's needing more samples to make it visible. Only the bricks are on the bricks texture, and the normal bump is on place, and that's all because we use the color ramp information in the factor. So if I put this out, it looks like the same, like it's blending everything together. It's not right. So the plaster is on the bricks, and if you make this 0.5, I mean, it's a total blend. It's bricks and plaster, but the color ramp makes the perfect mix, exactly how I want it. Yeps. All right, good. All right, this is the end of this lecture. We combine this back into this base color, and you can make it even better. But if I enable this modifier, some crazy will happen, because the displacement has no idea that we make this mix. So we use a color ramp for the material, but the displacement will add the bump effect or this displacement effect all over the place. So we also need to enable this displacement, and we need to wait. It's always good. We're going to fix this later. I mean, you will see the effect in a second. Very important. Will be some hacking tools to make it good, because the displacement doesn't have a color ramp input, but with weight painting we can fix this. All right, so turn this off because this looks total whack. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next lecture. We're going to mix a sandstone border or stroke into this material. All right, bye bye.